Let's now look at initial quality programs, including ISO 9000, the Malcolm Baldrige Award, and the Deming Prize. And then we'll also dig into TQM. First, ISO 9000. It's an international quality certification with standards first published in 1987. Again, we see the 1980s. Any organization can achieve that certification given that they meet the ISO standards. So, this idea of ISO 9000 is to design and maintain a quality management system. And from that perspective, an organization does not necessarily have to achieve a certain quality level with their outputs. Rather, ISO provides a framework that promotes high quality levels. And this framework includes ideas that we've mostly already seen, such as customer focus, meet customer expectations, engagement of people, total involvement, meaning shared responsibility across the organization, and then process approach and improvement, continuous focus on improving processes. Malcolm Baldrige is a U.S. Quality Award, with the inaugural winners recognized in 1988. There we see the 1980s again. From a basic perspective, the approach is similar to ISO 9000. Create a quality management system via the Baldrige Excellence Framework. Like ISO, it does not describe a specific level of quality that an organization has to achieve. And as we've discussed, the Baldrige Award and other initiatives sought to jumpstart the quality movement in the US after the onset of higher quality foreign competition in the 1980s, primarily from the Japanese, which we saw in the last section. And early winners earned a lot of prestige as the highest quality companies. And they tended to be larger manufacturing companies like Westinghouse and Xerox and Motorola. And then Motorola certainly makes sense since they were developing Six Sigma at that time. And then in 1992, Ritz Carlton, a services organization, won. And then they actually won it again in 1999. And then more recent Baldrige Award winners tend to be smaller service organizations, particularly in industries like education, healthcare, and nonprofit. The Deming Prize is an international quality award, and it was first developed by the Union of Japanese Scientists and Engineers to recognize outstanding quality. Recall that Deming's quality approach was embraced by the Japanese after World War II, which ended in 1945, and the first year of this prize is 1951. Notice how much older it is than the Malcolm Baldrige Award. The Japanese thought so highly of Deming that they named their most prestigious award after him. And this Deming Prize was initially limited to Japanese organizations, but opened internationally in 1984. And even today, it remains a highly prestigious award. Here are some very high-level takeaways for your quiz preparation. Number one, ISO 9000 is an international quality certification. Two, Malcolm Baldrige is a U.S. Quality Award. And then three, the Deming Prize is an international quality award. Notice the difference between certification and award, and then US versus international. Let's next dial in on TQM, Total Quality Management, the first US quality program. TQM seeks to align the entire organization with the needs of the customer. As such, it represents an approach, a philosophy, rather than a specific level of quality to achieve. And as your CSSE textbook indicates, TQM incorporates customer requirements and quality into strategic planning. Again, it was the first major quality program in the US, emerging during the 1980s with that onset of high quality foreign competition. And the US Navy is actually credited with the name, though the foundations date back to Deming. There are several principles with TQM, and the ones that we'll highlight look very, very familiar. Number one is voice of the customer, the VOC. Thoroughly understand customer expectations. Number two, continuous improvement. Continually strive to improve processes. And number three, total involvement. Engage all employees in quality from the lowest to the highest levels. And from that perspective, empowered employees can identify issues and opportunities without the need for constant approval or fear of punishment from leadership. After all, who in the organization is most likely to be able to identify and implement changes? It's the frontline workers. TQM encourages reward and recognition to drive the right continuous improvement behavior. TQM also encourages collaboration among departments. In contrast, siloed departments work independently, thereby likely limiting potential improvements. With these ideas, the CSSE text emphasizes TQM enablers, including ethics and integrity, trust, training, teamwork, leadership, recognition, and finally, communication. And as one important takeaway, TQM provided a strong foundation for the emergence of Six Sigma. As a second takeaway, TQM sought to embed the right culture of quality, customer focused and proactive. And that might sound basic now, but it was a big shift back then. In the early days of Apple, for instance, which was around the same time, Steve Jobs would emphasize how US companies really lacked the right quality culture. Until they had that culture, they'd be unable to truly compete against the Japanese.